I'm like, that ain't what I would expect from Cam.
Yeah.
Like, why he dressing like that? Why he look tired and kind of run down a little bit? Is Cam unk status? Has Cam turned into an unk?
You are now listening to the thoughts and sounds of IC the God King. This is the IC Experience.
To what he be wearing on the show now. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Because and we had this conversation before, right? But it's just you would expect, because like you said, Gucci Man, and I think that was a good example. That's what I would expect from Cam.
Yeah.
At this point in his career, being that he built so much of it off of fashion.
Yeah.
Off of what he did with the pink. That was just next level, off of what he used to do with the jewelry and the jerseys and the and stuff like that. But when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen Cam in like I kind of went through the Rolodex in my mind, and I probably should have, looked online a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know if I ever really seen him in designer. I feel like I have. Like, I feel like he's
designer clothes or designer
like designer clothes,
I was seeing him in Gucci.
Right, exactly. So, and I'm like, what happened to, the real sauce? Right. It's like he looked like he went to the flea market. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything looked like it's like low budget, bro. And don't get me wrong, I like the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I like what they doing, but
he's super confident too.
Yeah.
So, super confident, cocky.
Right.
And I like that about Cam.
Right. It's, you know what I'm saying? He's still Cam. So, but it does kind of throw me off of like, I would kind of expect different.
Because Mace still dressed decent to me. Mace, he be wearing some wild stuff, but not. There's no way in the world if somebody was in a time machine, they'll come back and say, hey, they're gonna have a show and it's gonna be wildly successful. But Cameron ain't gonna be dressing good, and Mace gonna be dressing better than Cameron.
And they're gonna be talking about sports.
And I wouldn't have believed it. Not the Cameron I grew up watching. But like you would tell us about the theory. You were saying that you think it's a thing that the people have to wear those suits to be on TV.
Yeah. So I was thinking that, okay, well, if he's going after the ESPN sports lane, then it would make some sense that he's kind of dressing how they dress, because to me, as multi-millionaires, sometimes I see them wear things that just don't look right to me. It's just like, I would think that the only thing that would stop you from really having something nice to wear is having the finances to be able to afford it.
Right.
And then you would, of course, want to have everything fit a certain way. So I don't know how, what that is, but I'm just like, sometimes I see them in things and I'm like, that doesn't look like the best thing that you could have afforded for yourself to wear on this show, so I don't know. So I'm like, okay, maybe he got to dress like them.
Or maybe he just at the unk stage, like I would say, all the people who be wearing a polo,
right? And
they just think, oh, this is in, and then just like that clip with the girl told him, and when the uncle in Texas at the Waterburg was like, I ain't fresh at all. No, nigga.
Right.
You're not fresh at all. So it could be a combination of both of those things.
So basically we said, is Cam unk status? Has Cam turned into an unk? Or is it, now these are a couple of other things I thought about, right? I'm like, okay, well, because before I get into that, I'm like, he looked tired.
Yeah.
Most of the time. He just looked run down a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want to seem like I'm talking bad about him, right? But that's just my honest opinion of what he looks like to me, And we're only talking about this because the show is doing well and people watch it and they got a lot going on, in the media. So we're seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
But, as a fan, I'm just like, I'm like, that ain't what I would expect from Cam. Yeah. Like, why he dressing like that? Why he look tired and kind of run down a little bit? So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's So I figure, I'll say, okay, I'm talking to Cam, right? We talking to Chat GPT AI Cam, right? You say, damn, Cam, what's going on? And he's like, well, yeah, I done made plenty of money, spent all my money on
I
all
done
of
did that before.
I done did that. Like, I really don't care about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a decent suit to wear on the show or whatever. Like,
yeah, and they be looking like they not custom cut to them.
No, they don't look
baggy.
Right. They look like baggy, oversized.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's it. Like, he just don't, or maybe he don't know what to wear. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing that I could come up with is that, like, okay, well, you've been there, done that, and you just really don't care that much about it no more. Like, it got to a certain point where you didn't care, and then it's like, okay, well, why you look run down? And it's like, well, we see the show and we kind of hear somewhat of his personal life as far as women, you know, and I've never kind of known him to, well, he hasn't locked in with nothing.
Yeah. Now, he did have that dark-skinned Spanish chick.
Juju.
Yeah. That was like,
I wanted that for him.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that work for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need the culture. We needed that, man. You would have made some pretty babies with Juju, man, and them little kids running around and all that designer shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. You know what? I wasn't thinking about it. Like you said, if I expect how Gucci Man dressed today, how Cameron should be, because Gucci be going back and forth with suits and then crazy Italian.
Right.
Sometimes I'll be like, damn, this nigga had leather pants on. I'm talking about Gucci. But if you were keeping it in the fashion lane, he's killing it.
Right.
And like you said, he got his wife there with him, so she probably helped guiding him.
Right.
Like, this is what you need to wear, boo. And to your point, Cameron, from the outside looking in, we don't know his personal life. Right. It appears that he kind of just like living like a young man. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we know as I know as an adult, you know, that'll take a toll on you after a while, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because I feel like I felt how he looked sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I keep going at this rate, like, my body is just gonna dry up. You know what I mean? So
but with all that being said, it's still love, Cam. You know, this is coming from a place of love. You know, I grew up a fan, I still am a fan of you.
Yeah, love the show. You know what I'm saying? May still doing the same. And before I get off of that, you know, Jimmy is the fashion top dog out of Dipset right now, man. You know what he's doing, the drip, man. That boy is dripping, man. Yeah. When I see Jimmy, he is dripping, man, at a high level. You know, so salute to the Jomo, man.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, man. So what's the takeaway? What you think the takeaway from all this?
From the conversation,
the clothing history, all of it.
You know, it's all perspective. Yeah. You know, it's all a moment in time. You know, so as the kids start to mature, they'll see, because like even some of the stuff that they talking about, like his wear, is like I think as they get older, they'll see it's like, okay, it's only so many different directions you can kind of go with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you ain't gonna be, if you ever get a job, you definitely not gonna come in there with those sweatpants sweeping the damn floor. You know, or wearing Crocs. Or maybe they will. Who knows?
Right. Well, if you go fishing, you're gonna wear a fishing hat.
Right.
You know, if you go to the beach, you're probably gonna wear some kind of sun or a bucket hat.
Right.
You know, all of the clothing has functionality, and then people decide what they want to do with it fashion wise. But it's all jeans. They came from the guys building the railroads. You know. That's what denim came from, and they said to even go even deeper into that, they said it was that like indigo jeans was first created by like an African tribe, and they brought people from Africa who knew how to make the jeans, and that's how they learned how to dye the jeans that blue color.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Africans knew how to dye it that blue color. Ain't nobody know how to do that, you know. So that came from.
They took it and ran with it.
Yeah, they took it and ran Levi's. Yeah, now we got Levi's, you know, and so so all of this stuff comes from a place of needing something to serve a purpose, you know.
And then we done took it fashion.
Yeah, and then you put a camouflage print on it, you know.
Right.
You slap a Versace logo on the side. This is to keep the sun out your eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And now, yeah, that's real.
Right.
Know? And back to the last episode, levels.
Right.
Different levels.
Right. Facts.
But we're gonna sign out right there. Boy, I see the God King, Geno the Exec. We out.
Peace.
I ain't fresh. At all. No, sir.